Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm your host here, Chloe, it's the name of my channel. Trying out new intros, guys. Okay, anyways, we're here with the demo for an upcoming game called In Blood. It is a visual novel. Now, the developer reached out to me and just was like, hey, the demo is on itch now, so if you want to cover it, totally cover it. And I was like, absolutely. I previously covered As We Know It for one of their previous games on this channel, which was also like a visual novel kind of set, I believe, in a post-apocalyptic world. I covered it for One Game a Minute a while back, and it was pretty good. So I'm excited to look into this one, because this one honestly looks very creepy. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear the music as I'm playing this back, but the music is very, very creepy, very unsettling. And also, I just want to say before we also get started, happy Pride Month. Today is the first day of June when I am recording this, so please keep in mind that we have to thank Marsha P. Johnson for all the work that she did at Pride Month. She is one of the largest reasons that we have Pride Month, and that we have so many rights that we do today is from the work of Black transgender activists, as well as Black queer activists in general. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Just keep in mind, this is a very queer-centered gaming channel, and so it's especially important to recognize where the movement originated from. Quick aside from me from the future, so this developer has also put together a very useful sort of informational article on their website about how to put together a press kit. Indie game devs, this is really important. This is something that I didn't do, but personally, as somebody that covers indie games for this channel and has previously covered indie games for news outlets, it's really frustrating when somebody doesn't put together a press kit and all their images are not in full resolution, and their title cards are just they're in bad resolution, and you can't use anything, so you can't really make thumbnails. Just go ahead and check it out. I'm gonna leave a link to it in the description too. Okay, back to the video. Okay, so content warnings abound, everybody. There's some sexually suggestive content. And violence. Lots of violence, probably. It looks like a scary, violent game. Ooh, guys, look at this text box. Look at the detail. Look at the text box. It was another cold night. The wind blew through the trees, ripping at the branches and pulling the dead leaves down. I was drunk. Too drunk to feel the chill, and too drunk to fret over taking the wooded shortcut so late at night. Too drunk and too angry, I just didn't care. Several months ago, or shit, has it been a year? My brother had been slaughtered, and now his killers roam free. They get to walk around, drink I can't say that on the channel, I'm so sorry, and get away with all their bullshit while my brother's ashes get dusty on a mantle. I would have liked to make them pay for what they did. I went to the police and they did nothing, as usual. I tried to rally the town, but nobody cared. I even wrote to some politicians, but they didn't respond. I prayed, but not even God would see that justice was carried out. Liquor helped. I had to use all my senses to stay on my feet as I staggered down the path. Thinking about where I stepped kept my mind off of other things. Oh my god, look at this background. This is beautiful, everybody. This is gorgeous. I love this. God, I love backgrounds. I wish I could be, personally as an artist, I wish that I could be better at drawing backgrounds, but I'm not. I'm just terrible at it. I'm just bad at it. It's just bad. Yeah, but this is so detailed. Look at all the different branches in the trees, the texture of the bark. I love that. The bottles, broken glass, grass, that kind of thing. I love detail. I love detail in my backgrounds. It was a small hiking trail I'd taken hundreds of times. I could easily get from the bar to my apartment complex without walking the noisy, bright streets. It was a short walk to the crossroads marked by a small old sign, left towards my apartment complex and right to go deeper into the woods. I stopped and stared down at it. The wood looked like it was starting to rot. It stood alone and unattended in the darkness. I stepped towards the path that led home, but something caught my foot, and the ground suddenly rushed to meet my face. Eliodora? Is that Eliodora? Eliodora? I'm not quite sure. I had reached out to stop my fall and caught my palm on something. I hissed and sat up, looking it over. A shattered bottle had been left near the path. Now I was sitting in the dirt, bleeding, and it hurt. It hurt! I chewed on my lip and tried not to think about it, to think about anything. But The alcohol was wearing off and the cold was seeping through my jacket to my skin, and now my hand hurt. This was all their fault. I wish I could make those efforts pay. My voice sounded so weak, and my throat felt raw. I breathed in and out. I crushed my hurt hand against my chest and considered getting back up on my feet. Things around me felt quiet, and I felt a weird energy building below me in the earth. I glanced down, still slow from the alcohol and the frozen tear. The ground was starting to pulse as if something or some things were moving just under the surface. I thought snake and tried to jump on my feet. But then a voice whispered directly in my ear, a voice unlike any I've ever heard before.
The man who killed your brother.
Oh my god! Oh my god, there's actually a voice. There's actually a voice.
The man who killed your brother.
Oh my god, I'm gonna pee myself. I jerked away before I could comprehend the words. I looked around, but no one, nothing. What the hell had I met?
The man who killed your brother to pay.
I don't like this voice. I shuddered and continued to search around me. I saw no one. The ground continued to writhe. I tried to stand up, but my legs wouldn't move. Is this some kind of sick joke? Speaking seemed to fix the paralysis. I managed to stumble forward and get on my feet. I was about to run, but the voice spoke again. How? What? Perhaps I drank too much? The voice spoke again.
How do you want them to pay?
Boy, I don't know. Maybe, you know, some community service? If it was an accident, community service? I don't know. Oh my god, what the hell? Oh, I want them to suffer. Oh, okay. I don't feel like being an authoritarian, you know, like in these situations. I wouldn't want them to suffer. I don't believe in the eye for the eye thing. You know, wanting them to die because they took a life. That to me is just not productive. I kind of want everyone to just know what they did, because then that's kind of left to everybody else. I shouldn't get to be the judge, jury, and executioner. But if everyone knows what they did, then I want everyone to know what they did, to know the truth, and maybe justice will follow.
For this favor, will you give your blood?
I mean, how much blood are we talking here? I'm a little squeamish. As it spoke, the world around me evaporated. I could still feel the wind, and I could hear the leaves rustle, but there was nothing but a bleak void before me. My breath and heartbeat started to grow louder and echo. It wanted my blood. Don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. Yes. Cthulhu, you looking fresh. You looking good, baby. The ground exploded and the earth was ripped open. Vines shot out from the depths and wrapped around my arms and legs, then pulled. What the hell? Bro! You said you wanted blood. How much blood do you want? I gasped, too panicked to scream and too focused on trying to free myself to consider what was happening. An invisible weight settled on top of me, pushing me down even as I clawed at the ground. I couldn't think straight. Was I being buried alive? What was happening? My futile attempts to fight the vines failed, and the ground swallowed me, pulling me into darkness. I wasn't falling. There was no breeze, no noise. I couldn't even hear my own voice. I couldn't tell if my eyes were open or closed. Was I screaming? I could feel myself slipping out of consciousness. What have I done? Girl, I don't know. You messed with something. You messed with something. Now, why you messed with it, I don't know. I was somewhere different now, somewhere soft but cold. I pulled the thin blanket up to my chin, but I couldn't get warm. Wait, I opened my eyes and sat up in a bed that was not mine. What the hell? Where am I? Hello. Oh, that's the sound effects of me throwing out the blanket. I'm like, hello? Is somebody in the room? I pushed the blankets away and jumped out of the bed. I searched the room, but I was alone. It smelled like mildew and felt damp and chilly. I had been colder when I left the bar, though. There was a fireplace, but it didn't provide any warmth, just the sounds of popping and burning with a heavy smell of smoke. There were windows, but they had been carefully boarded up. I picked through my blankets. They were old and frayed. Nothing weird was in the bed, and I was wearing everything I'd been wearing when I started home. I had my keys on my phone. It was in my pocket. There was no signal, and the battery was almost dead. Great. I opened the map app only to have it refuse to load. I tried to make a call, but it was only met with silence. I glanced nervously at the door. Was it safe to venture out? So... Let me see. Decided to listen to the door. Heard a small knock. Hello there. Hi. I couldn't stop an awkward laugh from escaping my throat. I stifled it as best as I could, but it was just so absurd. She didn't like that. Whoever was in the costume appeared completely indifferent to my reaction and utterly annoyed at my presence. Bro, I don't think that's a costume. Here, was it she? It was a very short bird human-looking creature.
I'm Eris. No gender.
Hi, Eris. They waited, but I couldn't manage to make myself speak.
I know you can understand me.
Yes, hi. They signed and set a package I hadn't noticed on the table.
Food. Food! Eat!
Okay, Jesus, I just woke up. You're being kind of a jerk. I frowned but didn't move or said anything.
I'm sure you'll last long. Maybe a few days.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for the stroke of confidence that you think that I'm going to last a few days instead of just a few minutes. I appreciate that, Eris. I appreciate that. They turned and started to walk out the door, so I shouted to stop them. Wait! They turned, frowning again.
Now you speak.
Why are you so mean? Why are you so mean to me? I don't know where I am, or why are you wearing that costume? That seemed to make them bristle. They flexed, and the feathers on their head ruffled.
I take it back. You won't last a day.
Okay. Please,
You struck a deal with Nyarbalta. Do you not remember?
Boy, I don't remember. I don't remember anything. I shouldn't say boy. I should say bird. What now?
A deal. With Nyarbalta? Do you truly have no memory?
I don't know. For a moment, they actually looked a little concerned, but covered it quickly with a look of disdain. I remembered it, if I focused. A voice in the woods. I was drunk, angry, and it had promised me revenge on my brother's killers. A deal. The voice in the woods?
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, so I made a deal with the voice in the woods. Okay, that didn't explain the decrepit house and the cosplayer. So then why am I here? Where am I? Where is Nearbald?
Nyarbalta.
Nearbalta. Nearbal. No. Nearbalta. This is not that hard. Why are you like this? Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Eris sighed dramatically and covered their face.
The old one, Nyarbalta, a forgotten god of the swamps.
Ah, yes, I know, Nearbalta. There's so many gods. Okay, what had I been talking about again? We were getting off track. So why am I here?
You made a deal. You're here until that deal is completed.
But my deal was to give him blood. Like, what more does Nearbalta, Nearballs tea? New York balls tea? What more does he need? Here where?
Mir. That's where you are. This, place is called Mir.
Okay, Mir.
Mir.
Mir. Like a little, there's a little, mir. Like a little, and kind of, when you say it. Mir.
Mir.
Mir. Like that? Alright, maybe it was a street name, it didn't matter. Why wouldn't they give me any straight answers? Okay, so I don't exactly have any money for a cab. How do I get back home?
You don't.
What do you mean?
You can't leave. You made a deal. You're here until it's fulfilled.
But all he wanted was my blood. What do you mean? Oh, I don't think so. Fulfilled how? Where is this god? I want to speak to it. Eris shook their head.
Humans.
Bro, just give me some answers. Bird bro, come on. Come back. We entered a long, narrow hallway. We entered the large... What is that? Is that the spider from The Thing? Is that like that alien creature from The Thing? The walls were cracked stone similar to the hall and the bedroom. There were some cooking instruments by the fireplace and more closed doors, no windows.
Stay here. I will summon Nyarbalta.
Can we hook up with Nearbalta? I'm just saying, like, I'd love to go on a power trip and hook up with, like, the god of the swamps. By the way, we haven't, like, figured out how to pronounce her name specifically. Like, is it Eliadora? Or is it Eliadora? Or is it something else completely different? Okay. They started to leave through a small closed door, but before they vanished, I called out to them. I do think it's a really nice costume, you know? Real fancy. They huffed and shut the door without replying. I shrugged and looked around the room. It was cluttered with stone debris, damp but clean. It was kind of cold, and I was glad I had my jacket. If this place had heat, it didn't work. I moved to sit at the table when I froze. There was a very large spider crawling across its surface. Just pick him, just put him outside. It looked fairly passive, so I grabbed a small rock with a flattish side and tried to encouraged a colorful thing onto it. Come on, I'll put you outside.
That is hardly a safe place for her.
Okay, I'm very sorry. I jumped. A girl, maybe slightly shorter than me, stood there. I hadn't heard her name or get as close to me as she had. Or I hadn't heard her come in or get as close to me as she had. She was all dolled up like a Lolita in an anime. Strange. Oh no.
Don't
Hello?
mind my darling little friend. She likes to meet new people.
Well, I'm very glad. She set her hand on the table and the spider happily crawled up in her arm and then vanished in her hair. I swallowed uneasily. People could be really weird about their pets. Has this girl not put together that, like, this, she's in a fantasy world? Like, spiders don't just crawl into people's hair. Like, even if somebody has, like, a pet tarantula, you wouldn't let it crawl in your hair. Okay.
So you're the new worshipper? I'm Seta.
Seta.
Hasn't Eris explained everything to you? Really?
No, I love your makeup. I'd love for you to tell me how you pull that off, because literally I don't know how to pull that off at all. You ever, like, get really jealous at all the makeup YouTubers? Like, you see their tutorials and you're just like, I hate you. I feel that, because, like, I never really learned how to put on makeup. It's funny because I wear makeup for these videos. I put on my red lipstick and everything, but that's because if I didn't wear makeup, I'd look dead inside. They said I made a deal with some god, but come on, none of this is real.
It is real. The sooner you accept that, the better. It'll increase your chances of survival.
What do you mean?
The mirror is
Survive?
a dangerous place for humans.
Okay. She smiled at me.
You're awfully cute. Don't worry. I'm rooting for you.
Somehow I don't think that that's very genuine, but thank you. I appreciate that. I blinked, caught off guard. Cute, dangerous? Mir? I really wanted to go home now. What are you talking about? Eris said I couldn't
You
leave.
haven't looked outside yet, have you? Oh, you poor thing. You can try to leave, but you won't get far.
No, that can't be right. I glanced at all the closed
That
doors.
one.
She pointed at one of the doors. I was starting to feel a bit dizzy. It felt like the room was starting to tilt. Maybe if I'd looked outside, I would know where I was. Even better, I could just leave and go home. These people were beyond weird, like they were part of some extreme costume party or something. This girl ain't bright, you know? I take it back. Like, she absolutely... I'm surprised that she survived the 10 or so minutes that she's been in Mir. Like, really. As I walked toward the door, Seta called out
Please
to
be
me.
careful. We haven't had a new guest in such a long time.
I ignored her and kept going. I pushed open the large, heavy door and stepped out onto a set of stone. The slippery steps caught me by surprise and I stumbled down them, struggling not to fall. Finally, on firm ground, I looked around, and it was almost as if my lungs had deflated. I couldn't breathe. The air was heavy and wet. The sky was a dirty green with no sun, moon, or stars in sight. The ground was hard, and the stone of the steps had been damp. Behind me loomed a storm structure that looked capable of collapsing at any moment. I took a few steps away and tried to piece together what I was seeing. This wasn't home. I was nowhere near home. I wasn't even in the same country? Planet? This couldn't be right. I couldn't stay here. No. There were no buildings, no roads, and nothing in the sky. The further I looked, the less I could clearly make out. It was as if everything ended in a blur. A low buzzing and scratching were the only sounds I could hear. They were not like the hum of cicadas or the chirps of birds I knew. It was as if the ground I stood on was contorting somewhere deep and groaning at the effort. There was a faint stench of rot and sulfur, and it seemed to come from everywhere, as if that was just the smell of the place. I didn't know what else to do, so I started walking. Why? Why would you walk? Why would you leave? Why would you leave the one place of safety that is... Okay, you know, it's fine. So she's walking, she's in the... A twig snapped. It's a beautiful horse. What are you doing out here? This horse is not real. I bet this horse is gonna, like, turn into a giant spider and, like, eat us. It was such a beautiful animal, but I hadn't seen any of the traces or... Could there be another house out here? I took a step towards it, for I was scared, but it stood confidently. It shook its head gently, almost as if it was showing off its silky mane. I'd never seen a horse so close before. I had no idea how to ride it, but there was a saddle and it could take me away. Maybe to another house, maybe through the swamp, just away. What a good horse. I reached out, wanting to feel the... Did horses have fur? It stood contently as if waiting. I could trust it. I knew I could. It'd take me somewhere safe. Those big soft eyes were telling me to climb on, to feel its skin. Nope, it's not. Nope. Oh my god, I suddenly pulled back, off of my feet and flung backwards. Oh, hello? Is that your horse, sir? You have a beautiful horse. I crashed into a tree trunk. I managed to sit up enough to see a large man in all black stand between me and the horse. His back was turned to me and he was speaking to the animal.
Go back to the swamp, Nuckin.
I'm a what now? Hey. I scrambled to my feet, watching the horse start to back away. Hey, what do you think you're doing?
Saving your life, New Blood.
The horse whinnied and scampered back into the dense forest, gone. Excuse me?
You're the new worshiper that I heard about, aren't you? Humans don't just stumble on this place, so it has to be you. Eliodora, right?
Eliodora. Okay, so it is Eliodora, not Eliodora. Eliodora. Just Ellie. Oh, thank God. Thank God. I was gonna be like, I'm gonna switch back and forth between those two pronunciations. How did you find out about me so fast, and who are you exactly? Let me see.
Alright, Ellie. Call me Tristan. And a friend. I want to leave this place as badly as you do. Why don't we help each other?
Oh, so he's human? I studied him unsure of his real motive, because the glowing orange eyes, make me think he's not human. Eris said that I couldn't leave. Are you trapped here like I am? Tristan spread his arms out, looking at me as if I was stupid.
I am. You can trust me. I'm human like you.
As he spoke, his eyes glowed. For a moment, I considered the others. Seta, Eris, they had all been in costume, hadn't they? Of everyone I met, he had to look the most human. But the horse, the house, it couldn't be real, could it? He wasn't human. None of them were. The realization hit me like a sudden burst of cold water, but I tried my best not to show it on my face. Right now, I just had to figure out what Tristan was trying to say. He was either lying to me, or something else was going on. Sure. I'll think about
While
it.
Thinking about it, try not to get yourself killed.
Thank you.
That white horse, that was a Nuckin, not a horse.
So?
If you had touched it, it would have dragged you into the swamp, drowned you, and eaten you.
I figured. It felt like that. I was like, this horse is way too pretty. This horse is way too Barbie horse adventurous for this game.
I thought I'd have to restrain you.
Good, I guess. So escape? Which way? He shook his head, looking back over his shoulder.
It's not that easy. This swamp goes on forever. It surrounds the mansion. And don't even think about getting into the water. You wouldn't last a minute. Nuckin isn't the only creature out here.
What other kind of creature? Okay. What do we do?
I don't know yet. There has to be a way, and I'm going to find it. Two people looking is better than one.
Now I shrugged. If what he said was true, then I had no idea of walking out of this place, so I'd have to go back. I guess I should go back to the mansion
Yeah,
then.
that'll be safer. I'll show you the way.
Okay, thank you. I'll take that. Thanks. I could have made it on my own, but being alone in these woods wasn't exactly ideal. He turned and started walking without another word. I joined him and tried to match his quick, quiet pace. When I glanced over at him, he looked like he was in deep thought. I didn't know anything about him, but he didn't give off a dangerous vibe quite like the others. This was different. He was just confusing. So what's your deal?
What, my deal?
How'd you end up trapped here? You make a deal like I did? He opened his mouth, but instead of speaking, he only took a breath.
Well...
If you want me to trust you, you probably shouldn't lie to me. Okay, you know what, Ellie? I don't think that you should be shitty to somebody you just met. Just thought. He helped you.
Fine. I don't remember. No, really. I've been here too long. This place messes with your mind.
Are you, like, young forever? You really can't remember.
Can you?
I knew I had made a deal. I stopped walking for a second. I made a deal with Nyarbalta for something important. My brother. What's happening? I can remember, but it's like it happened several months ago instead of...
I told you. This place messes with your mind. If you really want to remember, you should write it down.
I guess I should. He sighed. We were outside of the mansion now, and he glanced over at some cracked stained glass.
I'll find you if I learn anything. Could you do the same?
I will. I wasn't sure how I would find him, but this place wasn't that big. He left. I thought about stopping him to ask for more information, but decided against it. I didn't want to waste time chatting while my memory was fading. I walked inside, feeling more lost than I had when I stepped outside. If Tristan was right, then there was no way of getting home on foot, but he seemed to think that there was another way out. If I had been brought here, then there had to be some kind of door. I just needed to find it.
There you are. I've been looking for you.
What is this
I
place?
told you.
No, what is this place? My memory's all fuzzy. We're surrounded by swamps, and a crazy horse monster tried to eat me.
Mir, as I told you before... Wait, Nuckin? How did you resist the glamour?
I didn't really resist it so much as I was saved by Tristan. Should I tell them? I will admit the truth. Actually, I was pulled away by Tristan.
Oh, you were saved by our sad little puppy.
Okay, eat it. I don't like you anymore, lady. I guess.
Seta, This is Eliodora.
How do you know my full name?
What do you prefer to go by?
Ellie is fine.
She is the new worshipper.
I want to go home. I offered my blood not to move into a creepy swamp mansion. Right? Right? Like, we just gave a blood sample, you know? We Red Crossed that, you know? We didn't sign up for anything else.
You can go home once the deal is done.
What's up, Daddy?
Can we hook up with Nero Volta? What does that giant mouth do? I froze. It felt like a nightmare stood before me. When I had forgotten how to breathe, it was the voice from the
I
woods.
see Seta has run off. A shame.
Such as little...
Eliodora, you have promised your blood in exchange for your request.
Yes, I gave it to you, so like, why am I here, bro? I wanted to scream out, Ellie, call me Ellie, but my brother's killers. It suddenly felt very clear in my mind. All of the fog was
The
gone.
truth of their actions has been exposed, as you wished.
Oh, wait, so I don't have to do any work? Well, thank you. Thank you. I was worried I was gonna have to work for this.
I held up my end of the deal. Now it is your turn.
Dope. What do you want me to do? I started to tremble. My blood? Was this thing gonna kill me? I don't want to die.
Volta isn't going to kill you.
I only require your blood.
Okay, well, what? How much are we talking here? But
It won't hurt, if that is what you are worried about.
so you take some of my blood and then I can go
I
home.
require all of your blood.
Nah! I thought you said you weren't gonna kill me.
Not all at once. Yarbalta will take a little at a time. You'll feel a bit sleepy, and then Yarbalta will wait for you to recover.
But so how much blood does he need? So all of the blood. So since he's not taking it all at once and he's giving us time to like recover, does that mean that like he just needs enough blood for like a human person? Like however much the human body holds, that's what he needs? And if so, why? And if so, like, is this so that he can have like a human form or something? I shook my head. I just wanted to go home. None of this could be real, but it felt real. It felt like I was trapped in a nightmare. When can I leave? I want to go back home.
You are in my domain. You will remain until I have taken all of your blood.
Okay.
About 2 or 3 human years.
What? Bro, there's no television here. There's no Netflix. There's a horse trying to eat me in the goddamn swamp. You want me to stay here for 2 to 3 years? Nero Balta, can we compromise and I give you a kidney instead of all of my blood? Does that work? A part of my liver is fine too. Like you can take like my liver, it's like regenerative or whatever. You know, you can do that. Do you want that? What?
Take some now to quack the human.
Bro, what?
That
No.
might be wise.
No, just I didn't think I ran. The swamp was all around me, but I just had to take my chances. No way was I staying here. I ran stumbling on rocks and fallen logs, just barely managing to stay on my feet. I saw the dirty water and smelled the heavy stench of decay and rot. The swamp, go. This all had to be some kind of sick joke. It wasn't real. There was no way it could be real. A nightmare, hallucination, madness, not real. My muscles screamed, and there was a faint pain in my ankle. It didn't matter. I just kept running. It was all too messed up. I wasn't staying here to be a human blood bag for that thing. They couldn't make me. I think he can make you. He's pretty big. Before I could run into the water, I suddenly felt incredibly heavy. I stumbled back. The world was beginning to spin. I crawled towards the water's edge, trying to ignore the pounding in my head. What was happening? A wave of nausea began to cascade over me. I dug into the moist earth, feeling the dirt sink beneath my nails. I glanced up and saw the shadow of the monster god. Its wet eyes glowed faintly, and the branches that made up the body twitched in a gross display like a dying insect. I fell forward, my eyes closing and everything going dark around me. Well, maybe that was a bad idea. Just a thought. I love how, like, the first thing that she does is she runs out towards danger. I'm, like, reminded again of that scary movie thing where it's, like, a pathway that says safety and certain danger, and she runs right back to the place where she almost got killed the first time. I'm like, good job, Ellie. Everything flooded back to me, but it was kind of fuzzy. I was back in the bed, and back in the mansion. The god took my blood, and now I was here, again. Someone had moved me while I was unconscious. The thought made my skin crawl. Damn it! I buried my head in my hands as the weight of the situation dropped over me. I was really trapped. There was no way out. My mind began to race, unwilling to accept that I couldn't just leave somehow. I wanted to go home. I just wanted to go home. My anger exploded into an awful depression as tears threatened to leak out of my eyes. No, I did not have time to cry. I roughly wiped up my face, then kicked the blankets off of me. The damp, smelly, heavy blankets. Despair would not help me get the hell out of here. As soon as I got to my feet, I felt weak. My hands shook slightly. I needed to eat something. All I really wanted to do was tear the room apart, break everything, tear it all up, teach them a lesson for dragging me back here. I glanced over and the original package of food was gone, but now that it had been set in its place, I really needed to eat. I staggered over to the table and collapsed into the chair. There was a large sandwich and freshly cut fruit and vegetables wrapped up for me. Despite the overall decrepit and moldy state of the mansion, the food looked pristine.
Eris is a great cook.
Hello there. Hi there, I really like your outfit. Are you going to a rave soon? I looked up at the door, which was open. It shouldn't have opened so quietly. In the doorway stood a man with purple hair and a twisted horn sticking out of his forehead.
I'm just here.
You're not going to take my sandwich, I will beat your ass. As he got closer, his gaze narrowed on a dark bottle of wine that rested near my plate of food. You are absolutely not taking my wine, I will also beat your ass. He grabbed it and paused to look over the cork that sealed it. I could only guess that it was wine. Pop it open with your horn. Hey! Give that back. Give that back to me. I didn't know why he wanted it, but I wasn't just going to let him have it.
I see you are also a fan of good wine. Fine. We will share it.
I don't want to share it. You walked into my room.
Aaron, don't take the human's wine.
Thank you, Eris. You're on my good side again.
Why did you have to give her the good stuff?
The human has a name. They both ignored me.
Don't you have a few bottles hiding in your room? Go tend to them.
He rolled his eyes and left without another word. He just had a longing look to the bottle of wine, though. Oh, I see that death glare in your eyes. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. No one comes for my rosé.
I'm
Okay.
glad you are awake again.
No thanks to you.
It's thanks to me that you woke up in bed with food and not half eaten by Nukin in the swamp.
How often is that supposed to happen?
Whenever Nyarbalta requires it.
I shook my head and glanced over the bottle of wine. I wasn't in the mood for this. I really
If you
wasn't.
need anything, just call for me.
How will you know?
I'll hear it. Don't worry about that. As long as you're within the mansion's walls, I'll hear it.
I shrugged. Okay, whatever. Maybe it was magic bird person powers at this point. Who was I to question any of this? How many other people are wandering around here?
Excuse me?
That spider girl, Seta, the purple-haired guy who wanted my liquor, Tristan, you and the god. Anyone else? Eris paused a minute, frowning. Then I realized they were counting.
Brenton. He's probably hiding up in the tower. That is where he usually is.
With that, they left. The door shut, and I noticed there was no form of lock. Would it even matter? I stared at the food and picked at it half-heartedly. If I wasn't starving, I wouldn't have bothered. I really didn't want to eat, but it gave me the energy to think. There had to be a passage back to the woods, or maybe some kind of spell. This was just all so messed up. This time I heard the door open.
Hello, Ellie.
Why is everybody in my
I
room all the
see.
time? What is this, Morning Dew Farms? You move somewhere for privacy, and then there's no privacy whatsoever. Unless I am actually dead and this is hell, yeah? She laughed.
You're very funny. We aren't in hell, just another dimension of sorts.
Great. Another dimension.
Touching, but not of your world.
Any idea how to get back to my world?
You want to cross the old one?
I didn't say anything. This felt like a
I'm
trap.
not saying there is a way, or that you might find that way inside a book. I'm also not telling you to be careful who you trust here, Ellie.
She smiled and gave me a little wave. This girl's gonna get us killed.
Goodbye, for now.
Okay, goodbye. Nope. Goodbye. Goodbye. We're not worried about her. Goodbye. 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 Just eat. Get something to drink. Oh my god. Hello. Hello there. Your head is on fire. He stopped and looked at
Human?
your head. I pointed, but seriously, how did he not feel that?
Human. Fire does not harm me.
He ran a hand through the flames as if they were his hair. That doesn't hurt? I pointed at the top of his head. He started to speak, but someone else interrupted him.
Oh no! Was he thinking too hard again?
Shouldn't you be passed out somewhere?
Eris gave all the good wine to the human and has the rest locked up.
So,
Come on, Brenton. ask them for a bottle and let me have it, will you?
No, bro. So this guy with the fire hair must be Brenton.
I doubt they'll fall for that.
It's worth a try, isn't it?
If you two boys are done. They both stopped and looked at me. Where are all of the books?
A big reader, are you?
If you ask Eris for books, they'll bring you some.
I would like to look at all the books,
I don't want
actually.
any dirty humans tramping around my bedroom.
He
What?
sleeps in the library. But I actually have a lot of books in my tower.
If you tell me what book you're looking for, and give me that wine, I'll look in my room for you.
Don't believe him. He's just after the wine.
Just because I've told you that lie before doesn't mean I'm dishonest with everyone.
Really?
What?
You're just so easy to trick, Scales.
Don't call me that!
I don't know exactly what book I'm looking
Well,
for.
that doesn't help.
I know it when I see it. Maybe I shouldn't have trusted Seta. They were both looking at me like I was an idiot. But I didn't want them to know that I was looking for a way to escape. What if they told Eris or Near Balta? I'm just looking for ways to protect myself here. I almost died in the swamp, and no one has told me anything but death, death, death.
It is pretty dangerous.
So, about the wine.
I ignored him. There has to be some books on the things that live here, what this place is and everything, right? Neither of them said anything. How am I supposed to defend myself, huh? I don't know any of the weird rules or anything.
You're safe inside the mansion.
Probably.
And Eris will take care of you.
Most of the time.
Why are you so worried?
I'm getting a bit bored, so...
Okay, goodbye. 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 Karen walked away. He was completely unhelpful. I sighed and looked at Brenton. I moved my arms wide and pleaded with him. Help me out, man. Come on. I want to look at books. He paused and looked over at me briefly.
I have some books in my tower. I'm not sure what they're all about, but if you want to come up...
To your tower?
What?
Sounds cool. Let's do it. That sounds really cool, but you have books? Well, lead the way. Okay, so...
Okay. This way.
Okay, we're going to the tower. Going to the tower, and we're gonna read some books today and maybe escape from the swamp monster and this hellhole, and I'm gonna get taken down for a copyright violation. Okay, I'm done. I had no idea I was gonna find a book in all this junk. Just looking at it made my skin itchy. The walls were littered with holes that had glimpses of the sky. There were scorch marks scattered
If
around.
you want to just sit right here, I'll see if I can dig something out.
I sat. Honestly, I needed to sit down. The room was making me a bit queasy. It didn't smell bad. It actually felt warmer and drier than the rest of the mansion. There was just so much stuff. He knocked some stuff around and then brought me a few books, each differently sized. I took them when he handed them to me. One looked like a cookbook, okay, and then there was a kid's book. These aren't really going to help.
Keep looking.
How? How would you find anything in this place?
No, it's a bit of mess.
Where do you sleep?
I can't help it.
He spread his arms
I'm a
out.
dragon. It's just my nature.
Ah, I figured.
I know I look human right now.
Your head is on fire. That doesn't look human.
I know this place is hard for new worshippers.
That word again, I don't like it.
What?
I stood up. I don't like any of this. I just want to go home. Okay, Ellie, you're not going to go home.
I know it's hard. But if you're careful, you can go home when the deal is over, right? So why not just relax?
If I'm careful?
No, don't die. Stay in the mansion. Don't piss off Nyarbaltan. Or Eris. Maybe stay away from the others.
Oh, sure, I'll just sit around for a few
Might not be
years.
so bad.
He grinned at me. He really just didn't get it at all, did he? How thick can a guy be? He was sort of trying to be helpful, though, I think. I really didn't have time for this. Why don't I just dig around and see if I can find more books myself?
No.
No, I won't hurt anything. Oh, what do you mean? Wait. What? Bro, you handed me a children's book. Like, even if I... He only spoke to me and didn't look at all embarrassed at being caught.
Human? Come and get it.
He uncorked it and took a swig while swaying suggestively and walking backwards. It might have been sexy if he didn't stumble to find the door he wanted. I have a name. It's Ellie. Stop calling me human. He didn't react to what I had said, and instead opened the door and vanished behind it. He left the door slightly ajar. I shrugged and started to walk back to my own room. If I needed a drink later, I could just ask Eris, I suppose, but Brenton had said that Karen slept in the library. Karen had practically invited me, but was I sure I wanted to follow that guy into a strange room? Let's do it. Okay, so we're gonna go in the room. Hi. Hi there. Why was he different? Okay.
So good of you to visit me.
You're getting very close to the screen. It makes me a little uncomfy. Okay. Karen,
Take a sip.
Why is the screen getting all white?
That's good.
What is this?
What?
What do you
Not
mean?
even the really, really good stuff. Eris buries that out back somewhere.
Wine? Wine. He urged me to take another drink, so I did. It was making me feel warm.
Come over here. Don't you think standing is just too much effort?
I think I'm good, bro. I think I can stand. Karen? I wasn't sure what I wanted to ask him. I had come in here for a reason. I just couldn't remember it right now.
Sit down with me.
Is it just me, or is this screen, like, getting really, like, foggy? I'm scared. I came in here, he took my...
Drink with me.
Okay. So, I'm very drunk. I'm very scared.
You poor human.
No, I don't like it here. You're very strange.
I can make your stay.
No, I'm good. I'm a very comfortable person. You give me some yoga pants, I will be all fine.
You see Erin.
Tell me what?
Oh, thank God. The fog around the room in my mind seemed to drop with a cold splash of water. I jumped up feeling caught and confused.
Karen, how many times do I have to tell you to stop trying to enchant the worshippers?
Enchant? I felt my head was starting to hurt. I looked down at Karen, who only grinned at me. I touched my cheek where his hand had just been. What are you even planning to do? I snatched the wine bottle from where he put it, and... I'm gonna hit him with it. But Eris stopped me, pulling it out of my grasp. Karen scowled at me, but didn't say or do anything. Eris grabbed my elbow and tugged it, clearly wanting me to follow. I glared at Karen. He had some serious nerve. The bastard didn't even look upset. He didn't object as Eris practically pulled me back out into the hall. As fresh air began to hit my lungs, I suddenly remembered. I wanted to look for a book. The door was shut. There had been books, though. Lots of them. Damn it.
You need to be more careful. I'm not going to be able to help you out all the time. Don't let your guard down.
So what? You just throw me someplace where I'm gonna get killed? I didn't say anything. He glanced
Your
over.
dinner is in there.
Okay. So, okay. Excellent. So we're going in there. We went and we had something to eat. Now, unfortunately, we have been recording for a very long while, so I do have to bring this to a close. But this has been a very interesting demo here. This is a very cool game. I don't know if I can save here. Hello? Is this a save button? It is a save button. Save button? Save button. Okay. You know, I will figure it out. Oh my God, it changes in the upper corner. I'm so sorry. I'm so stupid. Okay, there we go. I thought that this, like, meant, like, load, but anyways. I do have to bring this episode to a close, so thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like. It does help the channel out. I'll leave a link to the demo in the description of this video below so that you can go ahead and you can check it out for yourself. The demo is free, and you can also follow the developer on the itch.io page just to see when it's eventually going to release and get updates on the game and everything like that. And then if you did like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel because I do these videos about every Tuesday and Thursday. And if you hit the notifications bell too after you subscribe, you'll be able to get updates on when I upload future episodes. So thank you all again so much for watching. Bye! Special shout out to Patreons AceWolf741, Deep Dive Dylan, Brian White, Caleb Putnam, and Robin Harper.